Okay. Everybody's here. All right. Me. Okay. Court calls case number 323-113704-20 in the matter of Crystal Ruby Alvarenga. Are you Ms. Alvarenga?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you move closer to the computer? Scoot your chair up for me. All right. Crystal, before we continue, the court takes judicial notice of the contents of the court's file, as well as all previous hearings over which the court has personally presided connected with Ms. Alvarenga. Remind me of your date of birth.
November 7, 2003.
And that makes you how old?
That makes me 16 years old.
All right. Let me double check something. I will remind everyone that even though the Texas Supreme Court has closed off our physical courtrooms in order to comply with the open courts provision of the Texas state constitution, this hearing is being broadcast live on YouTube. Any recording or rebroadcasting of this hearing by anyone whatsoever is a violation of the court's order, punishable by civil and or criminal contempt. Are both sides ready to proceed?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
It's my understanding that there is an agreement in this case and that the state plans to waive paragraph 1 of the state's petition filed May 7th of this year, and that the respondent plans to proceed to stipulate to the contents of paragraph 2. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Alvarenga,
Yes,
you have
sir.
an absolute right to have this hearing in front of Judge Kilm if you want, but if you want to proceed in front of me today, you can do that. Do you want to proceed in front of me?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Ms. Hamrick, do you join your client in that request?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Alvarenga, you have an absolute right to a jury trial if you want. And that would be where 6 people from the community would be chosen to decide whether or not you actually did what the state has accused you of doing. As part of a jury trial, you could force Ms. Farmer on behalf of the state of Texas to call in all the witnesses who might testify against you. You would get to look them in the eyes. And then your attorney, Ms. Hamrick, would get to ask them questions to make sure they're telling the truth. And at the end of it, that jury of 6 people would decide whether or not you actually did what the state has accused of you of doing. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have that absolute right. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
However, if you wish to proceed today, you may give up your right to a jury trial and ask me, Judge Porter, to decide everything. Which would you like to do?
I would like you to decide.
All right. And Ms. Hamrick, do you join your client in that request?
Yes.
All right. Now, Ms. Alvarenga, do you also understand that by asking me to decide this case, you're giving up your right to force the state to call in all the witnesses? You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand you're giving up your right to look them in the eyes? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand you're giving up your right to have your attorney ask them questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Our law and the U.S. Constitution also gives you the absolute right to remain silent and not say anything at all. Unlike previous detention hearings, anything you say today can be used against you, not just at this hearing, but at any future hearing. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Also, if there's an agreement between you and your attorney and the prosecutor regarding what should happen here, And if I follow that agreement, you give up one more very, very important right. We call that the right of appeal. And that's where a different court in downtown Fort Worth would look at what we do here today to make sure what we've done is done correctly. But if there's an agreement regarding what should happen here today, and if I follow that agreement, there won't be an appeal. Do you understand that?
Mhm. Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Hamrick, is there an agreement regarding disposition in this case?
I believe so, yes, Your Honor.
Is that your understanding, Ms. Farmer?
Regarding disposition,
Yes, ma'am.
we were deferring to the court, Your Honor.
Okay. That's not a yes or no answer, but we'll proceed based on Ms. Hamrick's representation to the court. All right. Ms. Alvarenga, I have a long stipulation I have to read to you, okay?
Okay.
And I have to read it to you paragraph by paragraph to make sure you understand it, but you're pretty sophisticated, so you'll get it pretty quick, okay? At the end of each paragraph, I'm going to ask you whether or not you agree with it, okay?
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir. My bad.
Okay. To the honorable judge of said court, may have agreed and is stipulated between the parties in the above styled, it should be S-T-Y-L-E-D, I'm going to make that correction, and numbered cause in which Crystal Ruby Alvarenga is the respondent, the following facts. If the witness Santos Ramirez were in court and testified under oath, they would testify that they reside at 1413 Rambler Road in Arlington, Tarrant County, Texas. They would further testify that they are the parent of the respondent in this cause, that the respondent's name is Crystal Ruby Alvarenga, and that she is a female child, 16 years of age, having been born on the date we discussed earlier, because I don't want to repeat it. The witness would also testify that they are the person who has custody and control of the respondent in this case. You understand that paragraph?
Yes, sir.
Is it, you agree with it?
I agree.
All right, next paragraph. I, Crystal Ruby Alvarenga, the respondent in the above entitled and numbered cause, in writing in an open court, consent to the stipulation of evidence in this case, and in so doing expressly waive the appearance, confrontation, and cross-examination of witnesses, the right to a trial, and the right to a trial by jury, and further consent to the introduction of testimony by affidavits, written statements of witnesses, and other documentary evidence. Accordingly, having waived my federal and state constitutional right against self-incrimination, and after having been sworn upon oath, I judicially confess to the following facts and agree and stipulate that the facts are true and correct and constitute the evidence in this case. Okay, so essentially, you're giving up your right to a jury trial, giving up your right to look all the witnesses in the eye, giving up your right to ask the witnesses questions, and you're about to confess. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. I agree.
Okay. Now, the stipulation, first paragraph. I was born on the date we discussed earlier, and you live in Tarrant County, Texas. Is that true or not true?
True, Your Honor.
Okay. Paragraphs 2 and 3 have been marked out, so we're not going to read those. Paragraph 4. On or about the 29th day of January, 2020, in Tarrant County, Texas, I did unlawfully appropriate by acquiring or otherwise exercising control over property, namely clothing, shoes, and or makeup of the value of $100 or more, but less than $750, with the intent to deprive the owner, Selena Alvarenga, of the property. Such conduct is a Class B misdemeanor and violates the penal law of the state of Texas, punishable by imprisonment or confinement in jail, to wit, Section 3103 of the Texas Penal Code, and its delinquent conduct is defined by Section 5103A of the Texas Family Code. You understand that paragraph charges you with having committed theft, Class B misdemeanor theft. More specifically, it alleges that you stole shoes, clothing, and makeup valued at $100 or more, but less than $750. You understand that?
I understand.
All right. Do you agree that paragraphs 4 and 5, as I just read them to you, are true?
I agree.
Okay. Final paragraph. I, Crystal Ruby Alvarenga, further agree and stipulate that I am a child in need of rehabilitation, or that the protection of the public requires the disposition be made. I further agree to a disposition decided by the court. Respectfully submitted, on this 12th day of May 2020. Do you agree to that?
Yes,
And Ms. Hamrick, do you join your client in that stipulation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Alvarenga, next two questions I have to ask of every kid who sits in that chair. Are you an American citizen?
yes, sir.
Is that a yes? Where were
Yes,
you
sir.
born? Where were you born?
In Arlington, Texas.
Okay. I know it sounds kind of silly, but even if Judge Kim were sitting in that chair, I would have to ask him those questions.
Yes.
Okay. Now, did anybody force you to come in here and plead true to having committed theft?
No, sir.
Did anybody trick you into doing it?
No, sir.
Are you telling me the only reason you did it is because that's what you, Crystal, wanted to do?
I guess so.
You guess so or you know so?
I know so.
Okay. Ms. Hamrick, do you have any reason to believe that your client lacks a factual as well as a rational understanding of the charges against her?
No, she's confident, Your Honor.
All right.
And
You
she
believe she
understands.
understands what she's doing here today?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And based on my interaction with the respondent, not just today, but in the past, I wholeheartedly concur in that assessment. All right. Does either side believe there are any additional admonishments to be given to the respondent at this time?
Right back. Hang on.
Farmer?
Stop. Stop.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I had some trouble hearing you.
That's okay. I'll wait till Ms. Hammer gets back.
I'm back. I just had to close the
All
door.
right. Does either side believe there are any additional admonishments that need to be given to the respondent at this time?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Alvarenga, based on your plea of truth as well as the information in front of me, I will find the allegation in paragraph 2 of the state's petition in this matter to be true. I will find paragraph 1 to be not true, and I will further find that you did engage in delinquent conduct as alleged in the petition, and that will be the order of the court. We are back on the record in cause number 323-113704-20 in the matter of Crystal Ruby Alvarenga. We're also here in two additional cause numbers, 113328 and 111194, also styled in the matter of Crystal Ruby Alvarenga. Pursuant to Rule 201 of the Texas Rules of Evidence, the court takes judicial notice of the contents of the court's files in these cases, as well as all hearings over which the court has personally previously presided. Are all sides ready to proceed in these disposition hearings?
Yes.
Yes, state's ready, Your Honor.
Ms. Farmer, is the state ready to proceed? All right. State, do you have any evidence that you wish to offer at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, the state would offer petitioners Exhibit 1 in cause number 113704. And they would also, which is a copy of the social history and the parental written statement. Defense has been provided a copy.
No objection, Your Honor.
And does the state also wish to offer petitioners Exhibit 1, a social history, and cause number 113328 and 111194?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Hamrick, have you had a chance to review both of those documents prior to today's hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you aware of any corrections, additions, or deletions that need to be made to either one?
No.
And do you have any objection to the admission of either one?
No, Your Honor.
Petitioners Exhibit 1 in each of the cases will be received and admitted. Who would the state call as its first witness?
Your Honor, the state would like to call Santos Alvarenga as a witness. I believe her son Pedro Alvarenga is there and could possibly translate. I think she is a Spanish speaker.
Okay. Okay, before I can proceed, what is the son's name?
Pedro Alvarenga.
Mr. Alvarenga, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Mr. Alvarenga, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English to the best of your ability to assist the witness in testifying in this case, so help you God?
I do.
All right. And just for purposes of the record, if I can get you to get closer to the microphone, both of you. All right. And Ms. Hamrick, do you have any questions about the translator's competency to translate? Or do you wish to agree that he's an acceptable translator?
I believe he will be an acceptable translator.
All right, Ms. Farmer, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Alvarenga, I know that for this case, you filled out a parental written statement, and I just want to kind of go over some of your answers.
Que firmas el statement del padre que solo quiere las preguntas de las que hiciste en el papel.
Pues, sí, que lo mandé por correo.
Ujú.
Okay.
How many children do you have, Ms. Alvarenga?
¿Cuántos hijos tienes?
4.
4.
All right, if I can ask
And-
everyone to speak up a lot louder for me, please.
And have you been having any issues disciplining Crystal, your daughter?
¿Has tenido problemas disciplinando a Cristal?
Sí,
Yes,
mucho.
a lot.
What are some of the behavior issues that you've had?
¿Qué son los problemas que has tenido con el comportamiento de ella?
Que no hace caso.
She doesn't listen to what my mom says. ¿Qué más?
Y que siempre desde
Have
chiquita
you
se
had-
ha
have you
escapado de
received
la
any-
casa con sus amigas.
Wait, one at a
She
time,
also
please.
said that she's ran away. She said that she's ran away from
How
home
many
multiple
times-
times.
How many times has she,
¿Cuántas
about
veces
how
has
many
escapado?
times has she run away from home?
No. Perdí la cuenta. Ya no
She
sé.
doesn't even know anymore. She lost count.
Muchas
Yeah, but it's
veces.
been many times
Desde los 13.
ever since she's been 13 years old.
And when she runs away from home, do you know where she goes to or with whom she goes with?
Cuando se escapa, ¿sabes dónde se va o con quién se va?
No, nunca sé.
No, she does not know.
How has Crystal behaved in school? Have you had any issues with her going to school?
¿Cómo ha estado Cristal en la escuela? ¿Que si has tenido problemas con ella yendo a la escuela?
Sí, muchos problemas.
Y,
Desde que estaba en junior high, todos 2 años de junior high, problemas y también otro año, 3 años.
Yeah, ever since junior high, she's had multiple problems that she doesn't want to go to school. ¿Y qué más?
Unos 3 años.
Los 3 años, and behaving badly in school for like the whole 3 years, like, I guess, in school.
Todos los días llamadas de la escuela.
They would call her from school every single day.
Would you say that you have made reasonable efforts to help Crystal and provide her opportunities to change her behavior for the better?
¿Tú piensas que has dado oportunidades a Cristal para cambiarse y mejorarse ella?
Sí, y la he tenido en programas, yo he andado con ella para todas partes, haciendo todo lo posible para que cambie.
Yeah, she has, and she's taken it to like programs as well. They'll try to do as much possible for her to change.
Does Crystal respect you as her mother?
Cristal te respeta como su madre.
Ah, me respeta así como de palabras, que no me dice palabras feas, pero no me respeta porque se va a la calle cuando ella quiere.
She said,
O sea, no hace caso, pues.
she respects her in the sense that she doesn't tell my mom off, but she doesn't respect her in the sense that she runs away and doesn't listen to what my mom says.
Does Crystal get along with her siblings that live in the house with you? Does she respect them?
Sí, Cristal se lleva bien con nosotros, con los hermanos de ella en la casa, y que si les da respeto a ellos.
Antes contigo sí, pero con Selena casi no.
With
Antes.
my sister Selena, not really much. They've been on and off. And with me before, she said she would, but not after this.
Has Crystal ever stolen money from you or used your debit or credit card without permission?
Cristal, ¿te ha robado dinero o usar tu tarjeta sin tu permiso?
Sí,
Yes,
2 ocasiones.
in 2 different occasions.
And
about how much money would you say that she spent without your permission?
¿Cuánto dinero?
Cuando esta última vez, no tengo la cantidad exacta, pero sí fue como 600, 700.
¿Y
La primera vez fueron como 300.
The first time it was about 300. The second time she doesn't have the exact amount, but she said it was like around 600, between 600 700.
Pero esta última vez fueron sus amigas. Ella le dejó la información a sus amigas y ellas lo siguieron haciendo.
My mom says this last time she believes it was her friends that did it. She probably left the card information with them, and they kept doing charges on my mom's card.
Has Crystal called you to apologize for her behavior or showed any remorse?
Cristal te ha hablado para decir que tiene que ella se está decepcionada de lo que hizo o pedirte perdón.
No.
No, she has not.
Do you fear that if Crystal were to be released to your home that she could possibly run away again?
¿Crees que si Cristal se la llevan a tu casa, te la llevas a tu casa, se podría escapar de nuevo?
Sí.
She said yes.
Siempre que regresa a la casa se vuelve a escapar, solo dura un tiempo y se escapa otra vez.
She said yes. Every time she returns home, she would eventually run away.
Do you think it would be in Crystal's best interest to be placed somewhere outside of your home where she could be supervised more securely?
¿Crees que si es el mejor interés de Cristal que si la pueden meter en otro lugar que sería supervisada más mejor?
Sí.
She said yes.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Hamrick.
Am I correct that Crystal's had some mental health issues?
Si es correcto que Cristal ha tenido como problemas mentales.
Eso no estoy segura.
She's not sure on that.
Okay. Isn't it true that Crystal saw some medical providers and received a diagnosis of depression?
Si es correcto que Cristal la llevaron a un lugar y le hicieron como exámenes de depresión.
Eso sí.
Yeah, they did do that.
Okay. And to your knowledge, has Crystal been taking anything for her mental health issues,
Sí.
medication-wise?
¿Tú sabes que si Cristal ha tomado algo para su mente?
No sé. Bueno, ha tomado pastillas de depresión.
Depresión,
Que,
eso.
ujú.
But that she knows of, she's taken depression pills.
Okay. Does she take them on a daily basis, or does mom know if hasn't been taking them in quite some time?
Que si sabe si las ha tomado o que si cada día o si no se las ha tomado.
Eso no sé, porque en algunas ocasiones yo encontré unas tiradas en el cuarto.
She's not sure of that, but she said in some occasions she did find some pills that were like laying around in the room.
Okay. There's been quite a bit of conflict within the family in terms of Crystal's behavior in the last 3 years. Is that fair to say?
Que sí ha habido bastante conflicto con el comportamiento de Cristal en 3 años, que sí, ¿verdad? Yeah, that's fair to say.
Sobre todo con la escuela, que no va a la escuela y hay muchas quejas de la escuela.
Yeah, she said, and especially as well with the school, that she doesn't go to school, and when she goes, they say that she's behaved badly.
Does your mom think that Crystal would benefit from individual counseling and that the family might benefit later on down the road from family counseling with Crystal?
Que si crees que Cristal beneficiaría que si como la metan con consultamiento para familia con todos nosotros, y que sí que sería beneficiario.
A lo mejor sí.
She said probably yes.
Does mom feel it's in Crystal's best interest to be placed outside of the home, at least on a temporary basis?
Que si crees que por ahorita sería mejor que Cristal la pongan en otro lugar que fuera afuera de tu casa temporalmente.
Uh-huh.
She said yes.
Does mom understand that Crystal's agreed to go to a placement?
Que si Cristal ha decidido que sí quiere ir a otro lugar.
Sí, yo sé. Ella no quiere ir a la casa.
Yeah, my mom understands. She said that she knows Crystal doesn't want to go home.
Okay. I'll pass the witness.
Redirect.
Just briefly, Your Honor. Ms. Santos Alvarenga, do you think that Crystal would benefit from being placed on probation?
¿Crees que Cristal beneficiaría si la ponen en probación?
Pero si es en otro lugar y probación, sí. Pero en la casa siempre se va a ir. Ya estaba en probación y siempre se fue.
She said yes, but not just probation only, because she had probation before as well, and she still ran away from home.
I'd pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Any further cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
May this witness be finally excused by both sides.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Who would the state call as its next witness?
I'm not sure if she's there, Your Honor, but if she's there, I would like to call Selena Alvarenga.
She's not here today.
Okay, then I will call, the state would call Joanna Cook.
All right. Ms. Cook, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, you may proceed.
Hi, Ms. Cook. How are you presently employed?
I am a probation officer with Tarrant County Juvenile Services.
And are you familiar with someone by the name of Crystal Ruby Alvarenga?
Yes, I've been our probation officer since August 1st of 2019.
And did you prepare Petitioner's Exhibit 1, which is a copy of the social history that was offered in this case?
Yes.
And I'd like to discuss some of the content within that social history. Could you please tell us a little bit about Crystal's history with the department?
Crystal was originally placed on deferred prosecution. She completed that, and then very soon after that, she had a new offense and she was placed on probation. She was then, last summer, she was sent directly from detention by intake to Nexus Recovery Center, a female substance abuse treatment in Dallas. She successfully completed that, and she was there about 10 weeks. She was there from August 1st till mid-October. She did, once she got back in the community, she started doing well. She was going to school. She was following the rules as we asked her to do. And then in January, she tested positive for the first time in the community for marijuana and cocaine, and quickly went downhill. She ran away, and that's when all of these offenses happened. Also, I will say that when she got out of Nexus, she was doing outpatient drug treatment through TYRC, and she was going regularly with her mom to groups. But then also we referred her to the FPP program, our mental health program, to address the issues that the diagnoses that she has. But Crystal refused to participate in that in December and said that she'd had enough counseling and didn't want any more.
So she didn't successfully complete FPP?
No, she never engaged.
And about how many times would you say that she's tested positive for marijuana?
Well, she tested positive when she came into detention. But prior to that, she was being tested at TYRC actively in the fall just in the fall. And she tested negative every time. But then in January is when she tested positive for marijuana and cocaine. And that was on January 23rd. She then, that was on a Friday, I believe, a Thursday or Friday. And she came into our office the following Monday. And she did not test positive for cocaine on that day, but she tested positive for marijuana again. And then that's when she went on the run. And when she came into detention on March 2nd, she tested positive for marijuana again.
Has she completed high school?
No, she is not. Crystal is pretty far behind, honestly.
At what grade level is she at currently?
Well, I believe Crystal will tell you that the last grade I think she completed was 6th grade. Yeah. And she just continued to be passed. And her psychological evaluation has her kind of all over the map with her education. And the psychological says she's somewhere between the 4th and 7th grade with spelling, math, sentence reading. But Crystal does present more intelligent than that, and I think she's a great communicator, but she is behind in school.
How has her behavior been in detention? Have there been any issues with her in detention?
Crystal was on level 1 for, I believe, 50 days. And then there was a situation in the gym between her and 5 other girls where Crystal believes she was jumped, and she actually has filed charges on that situation. And because of that, all of the girls involved in that fight were placed on level 3 confined to their rooms for 2 days. Since that time, she's moved her level back up and she's been on level 1 again.
Was a resource staffing done for Crystal?
Yes.
And what were the results of that?
The resource staffing recommendation is that, it was recommended that a placement search be done and to address her mental health behaviors along with continued substance abuse needs. The psychological recommended a long-term treatment program to address both of those, as well did the substance abuse assessment. So a placement search was done, and she's been approved for Granbury Regional Center.
Do you know anything about how her overall risk to reoffend is?
She's high. According to her pact, she's high risk. most recently done on April 24th with moderate needs.
Do you think it would be in Crystal's best interest if she were to be placed outside the home?
Yes, the department's recommendation is for her to be placed in a placement facility. And then after or during the time she's there, receive counseling through Brighter Possibilities that can work with the mom in the home and then Crystal when she returns to the community.
Has she received counseling from Brighter Possibilities before?
No.
And do you believe that reasonable efforts have been made to prevent or eliminate her removal from the home?
Yes.
And do you believe that her home would not provide the quality and care and level of support that she would need while on supervision?
At this time, yes.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Hamrick?
If you had a chance to speak with Crystal regarding placement at Granbury,
Yes.
and is it your understanding that Crystal has agreed that she's willing to go there?
Today, Crystal has been up and down a little bit about this decision. I think Crystal agrees that going back home right now is not the best option for her.
And she specifically told you that she doesn't desire to go back home and be placed with her mother, correct?
Correct.
And are you in agreement with Crystal that would probably not be a very good situation for Crystal at this time?
I agree.
And would you agree that the dangers for Crystal if she's placed back home would be possible continued drug use as well as runaway?
Yes, I'm very concerned with the group of people that Crystal's been associating with and the fact that her substance abuse escalated.
And all those things seem to be happening pretty much simultaneously in January of this year, correct?
Right.
Do you believe that Granbury can provide her with some of the tools that she will need to be successful once she is out of placement, such as counseling, drug therapy?
And catching up in school. I think all of those things could benefit Crystal.
And do you know about how long the placement would be or what the range of time the placement would be?
According to the summary that Ms. Loera provided, it's a 6 to 9 month program, typically.
And the family would be able to also have some family therapy and visit Crystal if she's in Granbury, correct?
Yes.
And as far as schooling goes, they would be able to offer her any education that would benefit her and hopefully help her catch up on some of her credits?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
Redirect.
No further questions from the state, Your Honor.
May this witness be finally excused by both sides?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And who would the state call as its next witness?
If she's present, I'm not sure if I see her, but Erica Laura from Lake Granbury Youth Services.
Ms. Laura, are you here?
I am.
Saw you.
Hi,
Just
Ms. Laura.
lost the picture. Okay, give me just a second. Ms. Laura, can you say something again?
I can hear you.
Your
All
Honor,
right.
I think our Zooms may be combining with the detention docket Zoom.
Yes, the detention docket is going to use our feed once we're done. All right, Ms. Laura, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Correct.
All right, Ms. Farmer, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Laura, could you please tell the court how you're presently employed?
Yes, I work for Tarrant-County. I'm a juvenile probation officer.
And could you please explain to us what Lake Granbury Youth Services offers and what kind of facility that is?
Yes, this is a secure facility. It's a treatment program. It lasts about 6 to 9 months, just depending on the investment of the child. They provide education on campus. They provide counseling. They provide individual and family sessions. And they also provide
Go ahead.
And they also provide substance abuse groups, anger management, and other social groups.
And is the longest length of stay 9 months? Is that as long as a youth can stay there?
In my experience, I had kids that been there 10 to 11 months, but typically this program is a 6 to 9 month program, and it just depends on the investment on the child, because it's a level system, so they would move up. So if the child has issues, behavior issues, then it's going to take them longer to move up in levels.
I've passed the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Hammer?
So if Crystal goes there, she'll be able to get an education, she'll be able to get counseling, she'll be able to get drug treatments and mental health services. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And it's on a level system, so how quickly a juvenile completes the program depends on their level of engagement and how quickly they're benefiting and utilizing the services that are offered. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I'll pass the witness.
Redirect.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
May Ms. Laura be finally excused as a witness in this case?
Yes.
Yes.
Who would the state call as its next witness?
The state rests.
All right, Ms. Hamrick, who would the respondent call as his first witness?
Yeah, we're not going to call any witnesses, Your Honor, so we rest.
All right. Summation. Ms. Farmer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, some of the concerns that the state has are definitely the respondent's drug use. At 16, she's already been abusing marijuana and cocaine. We're also very concerned with the fact that she's 16 years old, yet she's only completed up to the 6th grade. So her lack of education is very concerning for us, as well as her history of running away. As we heard from Ms. Alvarenga, she has been having issues controlling Crystal's behavior for many years now. It's clear that Crystal does not show any remorse. She does not feel the need to apologize to her parents for her behavior. It's very clear that Ms. Alvarenga has done everything she can, including attending counseling, to help Crystal. And as we know, Crystal is not on board. We can tell from her behavior how she failed to comply with FPP and participate in that program. She has a high risk to reoffend. We know that Crystal is willing to go to placement, and we believe that placement is definitely the best option for her. But we would also ask the court that they consider placing Crystal on a probation, keeping her on probation until her 18th birthday. We believe that in doing so, we would be able to monitor her to make sure that she is abstaining from the drug use that she's been participating in. Hopefully that would deter her from continuing to run away. While she's at Lake Granbury, it looks like the most she's going to be there is about 10, maybe 11 months, and that's simply not going to be enough to set her on the straight path, as we've been hearing from her history with the department and from her family. So we would ask that the court place her on probation until her 18th birthday and place her at Lake Granbury.
All right, give me just a second. All right, Ms. Hamrick.
Oh, Your Honor, she has misdemeanors on her record, so we would like you to place her on probation. I believe Crystal has agreed to and would benefit from a placement outside the home. I think everyone can agree that there is a lot of conflict in the home. And I think that this would give them an opportunity to have some separation for Crystal to get some of the assistance that I believe that she needs in terms of education, as well as some follow through on her mental health issues. And I think we've had some issues of self-medication. I think if we can get to the bottom of her mental health issues, I think that will also help her be successful in terms of not using illegal street drugs. She clearly has done well when she's in detention and outside of the home and outside of some of the influences that she's allowed to be in her life. I think that shows that she can do well. She's quite intelligent. I believe that Crystal has enough wherewithal about her own situation to know that at 16, she's going to need some skills, some life skills to be successful as an adult. And I believe that she is willing to put in the work if she's placed at Lake Granbury. I think a year probation is probably more appropriate. I mean, again, she is already 16, and if there's no question from what I've heard that she would be able to successfully complete the program within a year. So we would ask that you place her at Lake Granbury and put her on probation for a year in.
Rebuttal, Ms. Farmer.
Just briefly, Your Honor, and the state would just like to remind the court of Crystal's behavior in the past. I know that in our last attempt at adjudication disposition, Crystal changed her mind as to whether she'd be willing to go to placement. She seems to kind of, in our opinion, manipulate the situation. And we think that's just part of her being a youth. So we do think that by placing her on probation until she's 18, we'd really be helping her out and doing her a service to give her the best shot at succeeding before she turns 18 and enters the adult world where the efforts aren't going to be rehabilitation anymore. So with that, we would just I hope that the court placed her on probation until her 18th birthday and placed her at Lake Granbury.
All right, Ms. Alvarenga.
Yes.
Ms. Alvarenga. Crystal,
Yes, sir.
you are running out of options. Okay, we're out of, this is the end of the road. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First, I will find that there is no plea agreement in this case. So, Crystal, as a result, you have the absolute right to appeal. If you wish to appeal my decision, you need to get with Ms. Hamrick because she has a very short time frame in which she can file the notice of appeal, okay? That will go to the Second Court of Appeals. There's a possibility that the Second Court of Appeals could transfer it. Well, not the Second Court, but the case will be transferred to a different court, but don't worry about that. Ms. Hamrick will go over all that with you. So if you want to exercise your right to appeal, you have the absolute right to do that. And I have already signed documents to that effect that grant you that right to appeal, okay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Based on the evidence presented, I find that, Crystal, you are a child in need of rehabilitation in each of these cases.
Yes, sir.
I further find that granting probation is in your best interest. However, I find that reasonable efforts have been made by Tarrant County over a long period of time to prevent or eliminate the need for your removal from your home and to make it possible for you to return to your home, and that is not a possibility, that you cannot be provided the level of treatment and rehabilitative services that you need in your home, that you are not amenable to those, and such that a different disposition needs to be made for your specific needs. In accordance with that determination, the court will place you on probation until your 18th birthday. As a condition of that probation, the court is ordering you to attend and successfully complete treatment at Lake Granbury Youth Services. You will complete a substance abuse evaluation and treatment as indicated in cause number 113704-20. I assess 150 hours of community service. In the 2 remaining cases, I assess no additional community service. In each of the cases, I assess no additional parental community service. In each of the cases, I will waive all fees and court costs. As a condition of probation in each of the cases, once you successfully complete Lake Granbury Youth Services, you will enroll and successfully complete the Brighter Possibilities Aftercare Program and cooperate with MHMR in meeting your mental health needs. You will also complete, during the course of your probation, anger management therapy. Anything else from either side?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Alvarenga, I will remind you, because there was no plea agreement in these cases, you have the absolute right to appeal. If you wish to do so, get with Ms. Hamrick quickly, because that time starts today. All right, that will be the order of court. Thank you all. All right, I am now transferring control of this hearing to Judge Terry for the detention docket.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Everyone will give me just a little bit. Welcome, Judge Terry. And I do believe we are already, well, she'll have to double check, but I believe we're already broadcasting on YouTube.
My turn.
Oh, just to the court. We can set that up. That'll be a secondary.
Okay, so I'm good to go?
Yeah.
Such a confusing morning. I'm still like, where am I now? It is.
So it's detention. My thing is, just like y'all have to get kids together to get them to the court or whatever court.
How hard, you just walking into a room,
Where was that?
and line up according to the document, or at least say, Your Honor, where are we starting?
Or just have them sit there. Well, your head ain't good.
Brian,
Big personality.
thank you.
Call the detention supervisor.
Let's get this show on the road. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is our juvenile detention docket for the 3/23rd. Thank you for your patience as Judge Porter finished up another matter. Let's see, I'm just waiting for the juvenile to come. We need Mr. Cummings. As a reminder, because our courts are closed to the public right now, due to the COVID pandemic, and in order to comply with the Supreme Court of Texas order and Article 1, Section 13 of the Texas Constitution, these proceedings are being streamed on YouTube. No one may record or publish any part of the broadcast, and any violation of this rule may result in a finding of contempt by this court.
You do.
Also, as a reminder, because we are on Zoom and we get a lot of background noise and interference, if everyone could please remain muted until your case is called, and also put your cell phones on silent as if you were in the courtroom. Okay. Because he's older. All right. Hello, Mr. Cummings. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm gonna need you to move closer and sit up straight so I can hear you, okay? Thank you. All right, and Ms. Keenan Perkins, you're here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dotson. Hi,
He's here.
just trying to unmute you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Dotson. Okay, Mr. Cummings, this is your detention hearing. Remember, you have a right to a detention hearing every 10 business days once you've been detained. And the purpose of which is to determine whether or not I should release you or to a parent or guardian or keep you here. Remember that you do have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing that you say at your detention hearing can be held against you at any other type of hearing here, okay? I can only consider it for purposes of your detention hearing. You have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. Perkins, is present here. Do you see her?
See me? Okay.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I see that, well, you were originally brought in on February 29th of this year by the Fort Worth PD for failure to ID, giving false information. According to the police report, at 11:59, you were, black male was observed in a video at Walmart attempting to steal ammo and toys and passing all points of sale, and that you were apprehended and gave a false name. Police was unable to contact family, and the officer transported you to here for a detention facility. While you were here, your identity was discovered, and the officer found out that there was a DTA out on you for failing to appear for court on the 11th of February, and you had been reported as a runaway. You were given a citation for theft of under 100. You also had a pending case from October, theft of property, and aggravated assault for a deadly weapon. Which that one was referred, you were referred out of custody by Fort Worth PD on March 10th of this year for that. Police were dispatched in regards to a shooting at AutoZone. The assistant manager reported the victim was shot in the middle of his left thigh. Victim reported he was approached by a group who told him to go into the AutoZone parking lot to fight. That he didn't want to fight, but he was forced to go. Victim stated he was fighting with somebody else.
Okay.
The witness, while he was fighting with somebody else, that you jumped in and started to fight with him as well. Provided a suspect's name is Jimmy. He reported he saw Jimmy with a handgun and watched Jimmy shoot him in the leg. Jimmy's sister reported she received a FaceTime call from another witness showing Jimmy and his friends while another witness was fighting with the victim. A lineup was compiled by the Tarrant-County Juvenile Justice Center and sent to the detective. Witness chose the photograph of Jimmy, you, as he identified you as the person who shot him. And so not only were you referred back in out of custody for that, you were on level 3 acceptable behavior as of today, which is not acceptable. You understand that, right? Okay. Okay, do we have his psychological report back yet?
We're still waiting today. The doctor said we should get his fitness to proceed evaluation back today at some point.
Okay, and he's also then he has his mental health hearing is set for the 15th.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, then there's no parent here for him?
No, ma'am. Said he couldn't make it today. They said it'll be here Friday.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll see what happens at your mental health hearing on Friday, Mr. Cummings, but I also have to detain you still because you're just, I don't know what's going on. I guess we'll find out more once your report comes back, but level 3 acceptable gives me, just confirms that I need to keep you here with us, okay? So in order that you stay detained, thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I believe that was my only one this morning. May I be excused?
Yes, I think so too. Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
No, it's not. I did turn it down earlier, but it should be, I need to turn it up again. Thank you, Mary. There we go. That should be better. Okay, we should, on this next one. Okay, the next up was an attorney requested hearing for Eric Espetia. And that's Ms. Herrick's. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
And then I'm looking for Ms. Smith. There she is.
Yeah.
All right, great. Okay, Ms. Herrick, I'll let you go ahead since you requested today's detention hearing for him.
Yes, Your Honor. Ultimately, Ms. Smith knows more about what's been going on with him because she's been working with him on DPP for a while. But the gist of it is that the most recent case, the assault case, obviously resulted from a substance abuse issue. The father, the victim in that case, has signed an affidavit of non-prosecution, and the prior case, that possession of marijuana case, is one that he's already receiving treatment for the DPP services. So he's been attending CYT and family preservation program through DPP, and he's actually been those appointments while he's in detention. If I'm correct, it's Ms. Smith's opinion that he would benefit more from continuing to engage in those services than to remain in detention or to have the charges formally filed against him. So is that correct, Ms. Smith?
That is correct.
Is there anything you want to add that I missed or skipped?
Your Honor, I do realize that we've hit a few speed bumps along the way. However, Eric has made good progress in a short amount of time. He is actively participating in his CYT drug education groups and family preservation services. He's made progress in the home. This recent incident did result after he became intoxicated. He showed great remorse for that. He is on level 1 outstanding. He's still participating in his counseling while he's been in detention. And parents report that they feel that he's made good progress in the home as well.
And when I spoke to the father after the last detention hearing, he told me that he is ready for Eric to come home.
Okay, I see. Is that his dad there in the parent room?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, and so did I hear it's looking like the offense date, the May 3rd offense may be dismissed?
We're still looking at this from a charging standpoint. I see that we did receive the declaration of non-prosecution. Don't have information yet as to whether we're going to file charges or not. This is a violation of the DPP, so it is something we'll need to take a look at, but I don't know which way we're going to go.
Okay, thank you for that input. So Dad, if I were to release him home with you, you understand you were able to get him back here and make him come back here when he's supposed to be here, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Eric, you're not going to give him a hard time about that, are you?
No, ma'am.
You're going to remain engaged in your treatment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because I tell you what, you're really, really lucky that you have a father like that who is so engaged with you, and especially when I'm reading what they've been dealing with, the kind of behavior they've been dealing with from you at home. I mean, there are a lot of parents right there that would just wash their hands, be like, I'm not dealing with this kid, you know? So I hope you keep that in mind, how lucky you are to have parents like this who are so engaged with you. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and release him to his dad today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He has been on level 1 outstanding too, so pretty much is, yeah, so. All right, good luck, Mr. Estipia.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, wait now, please. Robert Jones. Robert Jones, he's up, release.
Okay, we should have Alexandria Johnson up next. That one's this is an out of custody.
Yes, Your Honor, she's in the lobby.
Okay, I don't know what juvenile that is back there, but he's not next. So if you can take him back, we're doing Alexandria Johnson right now. And then Roderick Jones will be after her. Thank you.
Jones, hey, have a seat right there.
And then I am waiting for, oh, there's Ms. Wiley.
Yes.
And then Ms. Turner Hill, there you are. It's a nice surprise, Ms. Wiley. I don't normally see you for detention hearings.
So Miss Johnson goes by Noelle, her middle name.
Oh, okay. So she goes by Noelle. Let's see.
I can see us.
Yes, we can see you.
Is she one of my other kids too, Miss Wiley?
I don't believe so.
I don't recognize the name.
No,
No,
she lives with her grandmother.
Okay. Okay.
Who's sitting next to her.
All right, so Ms. Johnson, I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd. This is a detention hearing. Purpose of the detention hearing is to, in your situation, determine whether you should remain in your grandmother's care or you should be brought into our detention facility here, okay? You have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. Okay, I can only consider it for purposes of detention. You have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Ms. Wiley, is here on the Zoom screen. Do you see her?
Which one is that? Right then. The one late. Hi.
Okay, and Ms. Johnson, I'm gonna need you to scoot up closer to the computer so that I can hear you when you do speak, okay? Thank you. All right. Oh, you also have a right to have your hearing recorded, and if you decide to have it recorded, then Ms. Wiley will let me know that. Let's see, it says the department requested that you appear today for an out of custody detention hearing to address your runaways. North Richland Hills PD has reported that you have run away approximately 8 times in 6 months. You're considering you a high-risk runaway. According to reports, you've engaged in inappropriate relationships with adult men and are using drugs and or alcohol while away from being home. And that your most recent runaway occurred on April 19th of this year. It says that you left home without permission and you were believed to be staying with a 24-year-old man. You were found on May 10th, just a few days ago, and released to her mom or her grandma?
She was released to her mom. She was taken to Cook Children's because she had a seizure, and then mom picked her up. Grandma didn't want to pick her up because she wanted us to handle it going forward, but mom took her home.
Okay, thank you. And then it says there's a pending referral for a January 23rd referral from North Richland Hills PD for assault causes bodily injury. According to that police report on January 14th, at approximately 23 hours, 100 hours, an officer responded to Karma Street regarding an assist on a 15-year-old female that was having a seizure. When he arrived, he met with Nikita Johnson, who reported that her daughter bit her hand and hit her in the head with her fist. And then you began complaining of a seizure and were taken to Cook's Children's. The officer went to the hospital to question you about the events, and you were charged with assault causes bodily injury, family violence. An officer spoke with you and reported that someone was sitting in the chair in the living room playing with one of the other children when you saw someone running into the room. Your mother stated that out of instinct, she swung her arm because she thought someone was coming at her and accidentally hit you in the stomach. Mother stated that she apologized and you became angry and started calling her names. And then you went to your grandmother's bedroom to tell your side of the story. So it looks like then on the 17th of January, you ran away. And then it says approximately 8 times in 6 months. I only have reports of twice in November, once in January of this year. And then of course the recent one in April, which would be 4. Grandma, what's going on with her?
She just leave when she get good and ready. She calls somebody on the phone or get on that computer, and then she has somebody to come pick her up, and she leaves. She just leave. She don't have permission to leave. She leave. And she's come home and several different times, and every time she comes back, I have to call North Richland Hills Police, let them know she come back one time. Her knees are all scarred up, knees all messed up, and she had a needle punch wound in her arm. She said she had been to the hospital, but like the police told her, haven't no hospital treated you, and you were 15 years old by yourself. So, I mean, it's a lot been going on, but she won't listen. She take that medicine for a while, then I'm not taking it. And then everything just go haywire. She won't listen. She's very disrespectful. She get mad. She wants to fight. Talking about she gonna knock not yesterday, day before yesterday. She said she was gonna jump on her little sister who's 14. I'm gonna kick this bee's A, and she just keep going and going and going. You tell her, be quiet. No.
So she's disrespectful to you.
Disrespectful to she's
and
not
her sisters.
Herself. She's not respecting anybody else. She's not loving herself right now, because if she did, she wouldn't be putting herself through this. It's everybody's fault but Noel's. She says it's my fault she here today. No, her actions has caused this. And
I think you're right, Grandma. So let me ask you this. Why is it believed that she is, well, I guess the needle, you'd be concerned she's doing drugs. What other thoughts do you have on that?
Why do I think that other things are going on?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay,
Yes.
because
How do we know who she's?
She came home in a white van, but a Hispanic guy and 2 black guys. That's when her knees were messed up, and they had the nerve to come on my porch, talking about they come to get Noel. I told them they better get off my porch before I call the police. I did call the police, but the police didn't catch them. When they left, she said, "That's my ride. That was my ride." And then she turned around and said, "Call the police on them. You should call the police on them." She just back and forth, you know.
And when did this happen, ma'am?
This was not this time she ran away, but the time before.
So back in earlier in April or in March?
Okay, in March. It was in March because she was gone for 3 weeks. We didn't know where
So
she
where
was.
does she, if that's her ride, okay, let me ask you this, Noelle. It's your ride to where?
Okay. She puts me out. She's not telling the whole truth, miss. Like, my grandma will lie just so I'm a check to them, pretty much. And
can you blame her if you're sitting there calling your mom and your sister names?
My
and
mom
you're disrespecting everybody in the house?
She's not telling the truth. She
No.
threatens me, saying that she's gonna call CPS, puts me at her house, this, that, and the third. And then when I go, like, I'll just leave. Like, I'll get my stuff and leave. And then my sister is my age. We stayed the same age for 30 years. We'll get into arguments. My grandma will come in there, be like, "Oh, this and that." She'll just jump on top of me. So it's both of them, like, not physically, but it's both of them coming at me wrong. And with my mom's situation, my mom choked me. That's the only reason I bit my mom. I didn't hit her in the head or nothing. She choked me. My grandma tried to separate us. I told my mom I did not want to fight. My mom came in there trying to fight me. My grandma can tell you. I was trying to avoid the situation. And for the older men, my grandma keeps saying that I'm being prostituted. Like I told my lawyer, this is not right. And my mom can even say it too. I'm not being prostituted. I don't even like dudes like that. If I did use Mark, it was for something. Like, I needed somewhere to stay for one night and then I left. I never stayed with anybody long.
Okay, Ms. Johnson, I'm gonna stop you there. So how do you know these men that are coming to pick you up?
They're men, they're boys. They're my age. Mark was
24.
Again, Mark was the only older dude that I like met.
Okay, well, how do you know him?
We was at a party and it was a one-time thing. Mark can even tell you that. I just needed.
So you're 15 years old, you're going to parties where 24-year-old men are at.
That was the only older dude I'm trying to say.
Nope, she left my house. She got some man.
Okay, hold on, ladies. Hold on. This isn't for you guys to argue and flesh out what happens at home and all that stuff. I'm trying to figure out what I need to know, what's going on, so that I can make a decision here today, okay?
I'm trying to tell you, Miss Terry, Judge Terry, I'm trying to explain to you.
I'm hearing you, Ms. Johnson, so just calm down. What I'm also hearing is that you're having a family dispute right now, okay? You're crying to me because grandma's come in, you said jumping on you when you're misbehaving. Grandma's got a right to jump all over you if she wants verbally, okay? That is her house. That is her house. She doesn't like your behavior. She's got a right to get on you about that, Ms. Johnson. My biggest concern is you not liking that and you not respecting her and her rules and then just running off with whomever for weeks at a time. So I'm guessing you're not doing any schoolwork right now either, right?
My school. Yes, ma'am. When I leave, I still do my school. I'm going to graduate. I'm doing what I had a whole job.
I'm going to talk to your attorney for a minute, Ms. Johnson, because you're not helping yourself right now, okay? All right. Ms. Wiley, what's going on with her?
She did have a job at McDonald's.
Okay.
Are you still working at McDonald's, Noelle?
No, ma'am, I don't have a ride there. I quit the other day. I'm supposed to pick up my check today.
Okay. She would prefer to have an electronic monitor than being detained, obviously. But the ongoing situation at home Miss Turner Hill can actually address that better than I can.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Turner Hill.
I guess we're concerned if she's on electronic monitor, she'll cut it off. Like that's the only concern, just given the frequency of how many times she's leaving the house. And Detective Peck is the person from North Richland Hills PD, and he's been in contact with us frequently. I think they're concerned also, and I'm not too sure how many times she's been engaging in adult mail, but it's been posted on social media, and that's how it came to the light of the detectives. Is that I think it was her mom or her sister sent her a video of Noelle on social media with this adult male.
Okay.
And there's reports that she was coming home with scratches on her neck and just various things that are going on whenever she leaves the home.
Oh, I heard what Grandma said, where her injuries and stuff are, and her bruises and such.
That was every time, Your Honor, but she's had multiple things come home with scratches, like somebody had choked her. Her neck was bruised so bad, like somebody had choked her. She go on the internet and had this, it was a white male. This man was like 40-some years old in a black car. And she ran out the door and I was telling her, don't get in that car. She got in the car and left with this man. We didn't know where she was for 3 days. She not loving herself, Your Honor. She not loving herself at
So
all.
what would you like me to do with her, ma'am?
Noelle need help. And I want her to get the help that she needs to realize that it's not me that's causing this problem. She's causing these problems by not doing what she's supposed to do as a 15-year-old young lady. Because she's not grown, but she thinks she's grown, but she's not. She's 15 years old. She needs to act as a 15-year-old and get the help that she needs.
So yeah, I agree, ma'am. So here's what we're gonna do, because my biggest concern is I do see on her report now the multiple, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runaways just this year, just since the middle of January. So in the last 4 months, and she's gone for days and weeks at a time. It means she's been gone from you with God knows who.
Yeah, and I don't know where
for several days out of the last 4 months. And so what I'm going to do, Ms. Johnson, is I am going to detain you because I think you are likely to abscond, and I do think you are a danger to yourself. Okay, I'm not real concerned about everybody else. Probably the stuff that's going on in the home can be worked out and whatnot, but my concern is that you are a danger to yourself right now with the choices that you're making. And so it is my job to kind of bring you in here and prevent that from happening. Okay, so I am going to order that you be detained. They will explain to you the behavior levels in case you're not familiar with that here in the back. With you seeming so out of control and wanting to make your own decisions all the time and treat everyone the way you feel like it and talk out of turn, you are going to have to be on level 1 outstanding here and follow the rules in the back before I subject your mom and your grandma and the rest of your family to your behavior again, okay? So that's the order.
Your Honor, may I say one thing?
Yes, ma'am.
I love Noelle and I want the best for her. And right now, like I said, she need help and she don't see that. All she feel like it's my fault, it's a mom's fault, it's everything. If I call the police on her, I'm supposed to call them on her. If she's not at home, I'm supposed to do whatever I can do to keep her safe, but she don't realize that.
She doesn't. She's 15. She thinks she's grown, but she do. But you're not, Noelle, okay? Your grandma loves you. You're putting her through all this and she's sitting here having to deal with this. She's sitting there having to worry about where you're at and who you're with and how you got these injuries when you get home, you know? So you need to think about that, okay? While you're here. All right, thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What? What'd you say? No, I didn't. What did you say?
Oh, I didn't do that, did I? Okay.
I just get up and leave.
Thank you. Okay. Ms. Wiley, I think that's all you have, so
That
You
is.
can hang out if you want to, or you can leave the meeting. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
I'm gonna take it over to detention.
Okay, Roderick Jones is up next. Looks like there's a parent coming in for him. And that's also yours, Ms. Turner Hill?
That's mine, Judge.
Oh, okay, Mr. Nava. I'm sorry, yes, it is. And then Mr. Ednegi, I see him here.
I'm here.
Okay.
Turn
Okay, Mr. Jones. You can sit up, please, and get closer to the screen so I can hear you when it's your time to talk, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is your 10-day detention hearing. I'm Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd. Purpose of your detention hearing is to determine whether you'll be released to a parent or guardian or whether you'll remain here in detention. You have a right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. It's only to be considered for purposes of detention. However, if I were you, I would exercise that right. You have a right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Ednegi, is here on the Zoom screen. Do you see him here?
Which one he is?
Mr. Latif Ednegi?
Oh, I
He's
see.
waving? Okay. All right. Let's see here. You have a right to have this hearing recorded, and Mr. Ednegi will let me know that if he needs to have that happen, okay? So you have been brought in, you were brought in on the 27th of April by Arlington PD after a warrant signed April 27th on that same day for your arrest was executed for the offense of murder. Report says that on April 5th at approximately 7:20, Arlington PD were dispatched to the family's address regarding a shooting. Officers arrived and they met with victims. Mr. Petty opened the door and explained that he woke to a loud noise and heard Luca's mother pleading with him not to shoot her, and then the sound of gunfire. When he left the bedroom to investigate, Lucas pointed a revolver-style handgun fire at him once, missing him. Reported Lucas pulled the trigger a second time, but the weapon was out of ammo. Lucas then left the residence with a friend spending the night. Police continued to investigate, learning that Lucas's mother had been shot in the torso and that her boyfriend, Chris, was shot in the head. Police found no pulse from Chris. Chris was pronounced dead on the scene. Police located Lucas and his friend Roderick and apprehended them. Investigation was initiated and the homicide detective was contacted and assigned the case. He met with Lucas and Mr. Perry. Is it Perry or Petty?
That should be Petty, Judge.
Should be Petty, Mr. Nava? Okay. When he interviewed Lucas, Lucas cooperated with him and explained that he and Roderick planned this out the previous day because Roderick wanted to hit a lick. Roderick planned to kill Chris and wanted Lucas to kill his own mother and Mr. Petty. He explained that Chris had 2 guns in the home and that the boys hid them away while they were playing video games. They woke early when everyone was asleep when Roderick used the 9mm to kill Chris. Lucas admitted that he waited until his mother approached and he pointed the revolver and shot her 2 to 3 times. He then pointed it at Mr. Petty and shot but missed. He and Mr. Roderick then left the home and walked to Roderick's home. He gave the handguns to Roderick's brother, Rico. Roderick was released to his mother after he was seen by a magistrate. He chose not to speak. Police could not tie him to the offense at that time. Search warrant executed on the 20th of April at Roderick's home located a .22 revolver with 1 unused round and 9mm handgun with 10 unused rounds. Residential surveillance of Foxcroft Lane showed the 2 individuals matching the appearance of Mr. Gallegos and Roderick. Lucas and Roderick. Audio was captured where it can be heard from the youth resembling Lucas. You shot him, while the male resembling Roderick can be heard stating, expletive deleted, give me the guns. right before it shows what it appeared to be Lucas handing Roderick his weapon. Positive for marijuana when you came in. And Mr. Navi, you're requesting a psychological.
Yes, and Latif just emailed me about 20 minutes ago saying he was requesting one, so I'll submit that request by the end of the week.
Okay. Not only is he facing such serious allegations, but he's level 3 acceptable. So, I mean, there's nothing to even consider here. Mr. Jones, with these serious nature of the allegations in this offense, I'm not comfortable even considering releasing you due to the danger to the community. So in order that you remain detained. Thank you.
Judge,
Yes.
Judge, I don't know if the mom has been able to give his medication to the detention people.
Wait, Mr. Adeniji, can you speak up? It's really hard to hear you.
I spoke with his mom on Tuesday and she was telling me about his MHMR situation. I wonder if the mom has given his medication to the juvenile detention center.
Okay. Mom, have you brought his medication up here to the detention center?
Yes, I brought it.
You have? Okay. And Mr. Nava, do you know if he's receiving it?
Yes, he's been taking it. There was one day that he didn't take it. I called mom to make sure what was going on with that, and she called the doctor that day, and the doctor said that Roderick could miss a day if he wasn't feeling well. So that was checked out, cleared up, but he's been taking his meds.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right, Ms. Lewis, help me check outside.
Okay.
All right, Javier Lira should be next. As I believe this is yours, Mr. Adler, and
yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Guerrero, where'd you go? There you are. Well, let's see if I get to consider that today. Nope. But he did what? If level 1 outstanding, did he say for a period of time or anything? Or? No, okay. Okay, Mr. Lira?
Yes.
Okay, great. I can hear you. You can hear me. I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether we will keep you here in detention or if we can release you to your parent or guardian. Are something wrong with your eyes?
I was just tearing up. I hadn't seen my people.
I'm sorry?
I was tearing up. I haven't seen my people.
Okay. All right. I didn't know. I just want to make sure there wasn't something physically wrong, like they were burning or something. So, all right. You have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. You also have the right to an attorney, and your attorney is here on the line. Do you see Mr. Adler?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, great. You have the right to have this hearing recorded, and if you choose that, then Mr. Adler will let me know. Let's see, you were brought in on April 27th, so this looks like this is your first 10-day detention hearing. Apparently your first time you were brought in was a little bit eventful when you were detained. It says on April 27th at approximately 2100 hours, officer was flagged down in reference to an accident and observed Javier carrying a black backpack run off into a backyard of a nearby house. you were involved in the accident. While talking to the witness, while the officer was talking to the witness, Javier returned without the black backpack and seemed nervous and could not maintain your balance. Neighbor near the accident notified the officer that Javier jumped over her yard and went the adjacent alleyway. Officers searched the area and they located the black backpack, a semi-automatic 9mm gun with a 30 count magazine, and various clothes were inside the backpack, and you were placed under arrest. And let's see. Looks like the only prior history was runaway, but that was supervisory cautioned. You were positive for benzodiazepines and marijuana when you came in on the 27th. It looks like you have a hearing on the 26th of this month at 8:30. And they're wanting to get you some counseling and substance abuse classes. Is that right, Ms. Guerrero?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and so what happened to get him on level 2 out? Did he ever get to level 1?
Judge, I actually spoke to the supervisor before detention hearing, the supervisor in the back, and he's supposed to be a level 1. That's not correct. He's a level 1 right now.
Okay, when did he get to level 1?
On the 5th, May 5th.
And he's maintained level 1 since the 5th?
Yes, ma'am. So the level 2 outstanding on the form, it was a mistake that was entered in the computer, but it's being corrected.
Okay. So he basically achieved level 1 outstanding one time and then stayed there.
Correct.
Okay. Mom, where's he getting a gun from? Do you know? Mr. Leo, you're 14 years old. Where are you getting a gun from?
I found it in my friend's garage. We were supposed to be riding four-wheelers, and he gave me the key to his garage so I could use the four-wheeler of his. And I found it, and I was gonna go ask him about it, and that's whenever that happened.
Why do you need a gun? Why do you need a 9mm handgun? You're 14.
It wasn't mine. It was my friend's. I was gonna go ask him about it because I had found it in his garage.
So you just found it, thought you'd take it, carry around in a backpack and make sure you have ammo to go with it because you're 14 and you need that?
It was already like that.
I mean, you don't have to tell me, but you see what my questions are? What's that?
I said, I found it like that. It was already like that.
So you found something that doesn't belong to you. You just thought you'd put it in your backpack.
Correct. But at that moment, I was gonna wait for my friend to come back because he had left me the key to his garage. We were supposed to ride four-wheelers, and I was gonna ask him about it till he came back, but I never get to talk to him after that because I got involved with the cops and all.
You were gonna buy four-wheelers?
No, we were gonna ride them. We were gonna use them.
Oh, ride them.
It was in his,
okay.
Yeah, it was in his garage. And I found it. I found the gun in his garage.
Mr. Lira, that was kind of a trick question. There actually is no reason for you to be carrying around a handgun at 14 years old. There just isn't one. So, Mom, I'm trying to, I know Judge Kim told him that we would consider releasing him if he was on level 1 outstanding behavior. So I'm really trying here. Okay. Are you home all of the time or do you work outside of the home? Mom.
Sometimes there's days.
What?
Okay, Mr. Lira, I'm talking to your mom right now. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
You keep cutting out. So I think both of you need to move closer to the computer. That will help.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I stay with my mom.
Okay.
And yeah, we're home most of the time since she's not working at the moment. My husband's the only one working at the moment, so we're home.
Okay. Does your mom speak English?
No, she only speaks Spanish.
Okay. Mr. Adler, would you like to inquire as to mom?
I would. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Can you hear me, Judge? Okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask the question of the mom, and I'm going to ask it in Spanish if you don't mind, Judge.
Perfect.
Señora, es el abogado de su hijo. Le voy a preguntar a la jueza si lo quieres en la casa con el monitor electrónico y que no puede salir de la casa. Punto.
Sí.
¿Y usted va a estar ahí con él?
Sí.
So Judge, I told her, or I asked her if she wanted him to come home on the monitor where he can't even go outside at all, and that there is going to be somebody at home with him, and she said yes.
I want to know if he listens to her, how he treats her at home.
Señora, su hijo te respeta en la casa y te hace caso cuando usted le da órdenes?
Sí.
She
And what
said
about
yes.
his sister?
Hey, what's your name, sister? I'm sorry.
Lilibet, but you can call me Lily.
Okay. Hey, Elizabeth, does your brother respect your mom and dad at home or respect you all at home?
Yes, he does.
And you realize if Judge Terry sends him home under house arrest, strict electronic monitor, if he violates, you guys have to call Ms. Guerrero and let her know immediately. Are you willing to do that?
Yes, I'm willing to do that.
Can you ask your mom if she's willing to do that in Spanish real quick?
Se va Junior de la casa y sabes que tienes que dar moreto. ¿Le vas a hablar a Miss Guerrero para decirle que Junior se acaba de salir?
Sí.
She said yes, Judge, to both questions. They would call you if he violated the monitor, or they would call Ms. Guerrero, excuse me.
Right.
Can I ask one more question just to maybe
Yes,
give
go
the
ahead.
court peace of mind? Does anybody in that home, ¿hay alguien en esa casa que tiene pistolas?
No.
Do you guys have weapons in your house at all?
No.
Your husband doesn't have weapons?
We have a baby, so we don't want weapons around my house.
Okay. Was it a surprise that your brother had a weapon?
Honestly, it was because I wasn't expecting it. Like when they called us.
So other than this one time, have you ever caught him with a weapon or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Nothing further, Judge. I'll pass the witness.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Adler. Lily, do you know this friend that he supposedly got his gun from?
I honestly don't.
You don't? Okay.
I honestly don't.
And is your mom able to get him here, back here on the 26th for his court hearing on the 26th?
Yes, well, my mom don't know how to drive, so I'll be bringing them here.
Okay, because you understand that if I release him to mom, it's gonna be her responsibility to make sure that he gets back here.
Yes.
Okay. Because if he doesn't show up when he's supposed to be, we would issue a directive to apprehend and a warrant could be issued for mom as well.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Lira, do you want a warrant issued for your mother because you maybe think you're gonna run off or something while you're out there?
No, ma'am.
What's the name of this friend that you got the gun from?
I honestly don't know him. I got introduced to him by another friend.
Okay, so you don't even know his name at all? Not a first name, not a nickname, not a street name?
No. I know the guy that introduced me to him. His name's Xavier, but that's about it.
I'm just telling you why I'm asking. I'm not asking you to snitch.
No.
Okay, I'm not asking you to snitch. I'm asking you because if I consider releasing you, his name's going to go in your conditions to where he's a person that you cannot be around. Okay.
Okay.
In fact, I mean, you're going to be confined to your home, but I still don't want you to have any communications whatsoever. Not text, not social media, nothing. Okay. Not a phone call. Because I'm also concerned about where you're getting your benzodiazepines and your marijuana from too. When's the last time that you smoked marijuana?
The day before that happened.
The day before you were brought in? He's still gonna have some trace amounts in him, right? And was it Ms. Guerrero, you said, was it on the 8th, you said he achieved level, on the 5th, he achieved level 1 outstanding, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I want him on level 1 outstanding for 10 days straight, because that'll show me that he can be consistent. Okay, that it wasn't just okay, I'll get to level 1 now and then I can go home type of thing. I want him to show some consistency and commitment to some changed behavior. Okay, Mr. Lura, does that make sense?
Can you repeat that again? It was kind of lagging.
So you are on level 1, but I would like to see you have maintained that for a consistent period of time. And I think 10 days is a good period of time. Friday would be the 10th day. Okay, because what I don't want to see is that you're told, oh, you get to level 1 now and we'll let you, we'll consider sending you home, because with some people that could just be like, that's the goal, that's it, I've made it, I'm done, now I can go home and just go back to how I was doing things, right? So I like to see some consistency on level 1 outstanding, because that'll tell me that you are trying to make some changes in your behavior, and with hopes that you can maintain that kind of behavior at home, okay? I am a little hesitant even about putting you on a monitor. I don't quite trust you. But if you can stay on level 1 outstanding and you're still there Friday, then I think you've earned a little bit of that. And I would be okay with sending you on an electronic monitor on Friday, okay? So just to be clear, they're telling me you are on level 1 outstanding today. If you slip to level 2 somehow today and then you're back up on Friday, it's a no deal, okay? You have to be level 1 outstanding for 10 days. And your 10th day will be Friday. You understand that?
Yeah, I really don't lose points, nothing.
Yeah, don't be losing any points between now and Friday, or you start all over at day 1, okay?
Usted nivel 1 por 10 días. So, el viernes cumple los 10 días. El viernes te dejo salir. Necesito que tú me enseñes que sí puedes cumplirme con eso.
Okay, I just need a few more days out of you, Mr. Lira, to us releasing you on a monitor, okay? Did you have a question?
Yes. And would I get released in the night at Friday, or is...
I'll let them know that, Judge, once
Yeah.
we know on Friday.
Ms. Guerrero will let you and your family know that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Okay, it should be Braylon Newton up next. And that would be Mr. Berger. I think I see his, there he is. Okay. And Ms. Turner Hill. Okay, Mr. Berger, so you requested this detention hearing, so I'll let you go ahead. Well, actually, let me go ahead and admonish him first. Mr. Newton? I am Judge Terry. I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd. This is a detention hearing that your lawyer requested. As you know, you have a right to a detention hearing every 10 business days while you are here. Purpose of that is to determine whether you should be released to a parent or guardian, or whether you should remain here in detention for a little while. And your attorney requested this special hearing though. So just as a reminder, you have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you in any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you also have a right to an attorney. And do you see your attorney, Mr. Berger, here on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have the right to have your hearing recorded, and Mr. Berger will let me know if he needs that done. So I am looking at your offense report. Mr. Berger, looks like probably because he achieved level 1 outstanding on April 2nd, and he's been here a bit. So I'm assuming that's why you're asking for today's hearing.
Well, Judge, part of the problem was that at the last hearing, there was some disagreement as to whether or not he would be allowed to go home because his stepmother was still, I think, pretty upset that he had taken her vehicle and wrecked it. So I guess after 43 days, we'd like to have stepmom reconsider. My understanding is that she's there today, and that she would allow him to come home with some conditions.
Okay. Where's Dad?
Neither parent is here, Your Honor. Dad had to work, and so he's not present. Stepmom said she couldn't make it. She said something about she had an accident on Sunday, and she wasn't sure if the car was going to make it to detention. She still has not confirmed that she's willing to take him back into the house. And Dad, last time I talked to Dad last week, it was very brief. He said that he was still trying to find a family member to place Braylon with. Stepmom would like for Braylon to go into CPS custody, but Dad does not. He wants to avoid that, but they're just having a hard time finding an alternative household for him to stay in.
He's been on level 1 outstanding for over a month.
Yes, ma'am. He's done very well in detention.
I mean, he'd be in trouble at home if he were in my home if he did what they're saying he did. But, and I don't know the history of what's been going on in that home, if maybe they're just at the end of his rope or what, Mr. Berger? Do you know what's going on?
Yes, Judge. I mean, it appears
End
that
of their rope, I guess.
There's been a lot of conflict within the home, but I think Ms. Turnerhill made it very clear to stepmom and to Dad that if they would not make a decision on finding a placement for Braylon, that CPS would be notified and that they would get involved. And they've been aware of this now for over a month, that this could head in this direction, and we still can't get a decision. So I would like to kind of force the issue, make them either say they're going to take him or not, and if not, that we can begin the process for getting CPS involved.
So yeah, I saw the note where Dad's trying to find a family member. Unfortunately, Dad has a choice to make. So he can let stepmom use or try to use the court to parent him, or he can step up and come get his son and deal with her. But if he's not willing to do that, I think it's time to get the department involved, because he doesn't deserve to sit here because they're not ready to figure out how to handle this as a couple.
Correct, Judge. That is a fair assessment.
So, so they can either come in. What is Dad's work hours? Does anyone know?
He gets off today at 3:30, he said, and I asked stepmom if she could come and pick him up if he got released, and she responded saying that she can't. Dad can't text at work, and so I'd have to wait till 3:30 to see if he pick him up. My fear is that Braylon gets released and his parents drop the ball. They did this at the initial detention hearing where we did have to call CPS because they refused to pick him up when he was eligible for release, and then they refused to answer any phone calls. But I know stepmom has contacted CPS, but I think the hang up is Dad. Like Dad, of course, Dad being the guardian, he has to verbally say that he's refusing to accept responsibility before CPS will intervene.
Is there a mother that he can be placed with?
Mother is not. CPS checked her out whenever he first came in custody, and she was not a suitable placement for him. And there's an aunt, but Dad is saying that the aunt is not willing to accept him. And then there's like maybe something like a fictive kinship in the Waco area, but she has younger children in the home, and she's saying that she's not willing to accept custody of youth either.
Okay, Braylon, I saw you shake your head, and I asked about mom too, so that tells me, you know, I don't know what's going on. You may just have had a super rough patch, and the adults are not able to deal with it. But somebody has to take care of you. And so and you've shown everybody that you know how to follow some rules consistently, way consistently. So I think Dad has 24 hours to get here and get him. And he can either, and I'm being generous because I don't know what their schedules are and what's going on in their home with their transportation and such, but they've got 24 hours for their dad to show up, or he can designate someone to, or designate stepmom to come get him. Otherwise, they've chosen to put him in the hands of the department. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you. And good luck, Mr. Newton. I want your behavior to stay tip top no matter who picks you up, okay? Stay level 1 no matter where you go, and we won't have these problems going forward, okay? All right. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Berger, I wanted to submit to random drug screens too.
Okay.
So I saw he tested positive when he came in. All right, Mr. Adler, you're back up. Is this Mr. Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Lopez, I saw you on here somewhere. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, I know I had the numbers on this one. Oh yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? There you go. That's right. Okay, Mr. Perez, this is your 10-day detention hearing. We met the last time. Just as a reminder, you have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say at your detention hearing can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also have a right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Adler, is here on the screen. Do you see him?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Adler, if you can wave at him. Do you see him?
No, ma'am, not yet. No.
Okay, he's got glasses on. Kind of bright in his room. He's got a big window behind him.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You see me now?
There. Yes, ma'am, not seeing.
Okay. All right. And your mom is here again also. You have a right to have your hearing recorded. Mr. Adler will let me know if you would like that done. Okay, I see you're still on level 1 outstanding, which is not a surprise to me. I know you're capable of thinking about how you want to do things. It looks like you have your determinate sentence hearing on the 20th. The alleged offense occurred while you're on probation with us as well. Okay, that's right. Ms. Lopez?
Your Honor, I just wanted to be noted that he was on EM and took that off. So I do have concerns. It is next week. I'm not trying to be negative, but you know, it is next week, his hearing.
Yeah. And that was back in January. Yes. Well, Mr. Perez, due to the nature of the allegations, and it's set for adjudication disposition. Which one was that? Okay. I mean, that one, we're talking 4 aggravated robberies on the same date that are alleged, and a gun was involved. And you were on probation with us when this occurred, allegedly, when it allegedly occurred. I know your behavior has been good. I'm just not comfortable releasing you, especially this close to your hearing. You put up a monitor before, so I think that shows that you are likely to abscond rather than face your determinant sentence hearing on the 20th. So I'm going to order you detained, and we'll see what happens on the 20th.
Judge Terry.
Yes.
Hey, I'm sorry to ask you this, but is Mary sitting right by you?
Mary is by me, yes.
Can you please ask Mary if it's set for a determinate sentence pre-trial or if it's actually, she has it as an adjudication dispo?
Yes, I will, because I'm asking, is it a pre-trial, Mary? It's a first setting. And Mr. Adler,
okay.
While we have you on, did you ever get your discovery?
Yeah, I finally have the discovery.
Okay,
that's
good.
why I was asking if it was a pre-trial.
Okay, good. So that's been all fixed, and that's why I figured you were asking. I just wanted to make sure. Okay,
yes,
great. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Tavon Petty's next, and that would be Mr. Edniji.
Yes, Judge.
And Ms. Guerrero again. And it looks like his dad is here.
Yes.
Okay, we've got a grand jury approval for a determinate sentence, and the status conference was on April 30th. Mr. Petty, I know you've been here a long time on these charges of aggravated assault, serious bodily injury with a deadly weapon. Oh yeah, this was the one where it's supposed to be gang-related activity and they were shooting out of the vehicle. Somebody was shot in the stomach. could have very easily been a murder charge. I remember this one. So, Mr. Petty, here's the thing. Even given the nature of the allegations and the seriousness of this offense, I probably told you before, you're lucky you're not hearing a murder charge. Your level 1 outstanding as of 3 days ago, and that's not even close to enough to consider release given the nature of these allegations. And so
I've been level 1 since from May 2nd all the way to May 12th.
Okay. Well, this says since May 9th, so I don't know what happened. Level 1 outstanding since May 9th.
Judge, I raised that with Ms. Guerrero. He's always been on level 1 outstanding up till the time we came last. On the 8th of this month, there was some minor infraction, and it was lowered to level 1 acceptable. The next day, he got back on level 1 outstanding. So comparatively, it's been mostly on level 1 outstanding all this period.
I hear you, Mr. Adeniji, and what I'm saying is, given these allegations, it would have to be level 1 outstanding, period. Just period to even think about it. I hate that he's been here for so long, and I'm sure a lot of it has to do with what's happened with the COVID pandemic.
No, Judge, I don't think it has to do with pandemic. We've been here.
Well,
we've been here since January. Every single time when it's made level 1 outstanding for 1 or 2 weeks, continuously, we come back and it's the same thing, the nature of the offense, and it's detained. So, I mean, is the judge telling us that it will never be released until this case is disposed? So he will not have this mind of coming here and then be told nature of the offense. We've had that for 13 weeks.
I know, Mr. Adeniji, it seems like we have the same conversation every time.
Exactly. So, I mean, I just want him to have some reliability about what's going to happen. Every time we come, make it to level 1 outstanding for 2 weeks, I will consider releasing you. We come back, it's the same thing. So if the judge tells him now, Mr. Petty, you're not going anywhere until we dispose of this case, then it will not be looking forward to being released with any conditions that the judge may impose.
Well, I understand that, Mr. Adeniji, but doing that would also be akin to some sort of an advisory opinion or something too. I don't know what's going to happen. There may be facts and circumstances that come forward between now and the next detention hearing that I don't know right now, okay? That I may have to. And so when I say I will consider Mr. Petty, I do consider it, okay?
And I believe that, Judge, we were on status conference on the 30th of April, and that's about the main case itself. Because my thing is, I made some observations to the state about what I've seen about the problems concerning my client, and the state decided they're going to look more into it. When we came for status on the 30th, the state said they're still not gotten a feedback from the detectives. So this is where we are in terms of the main case, and we are now looking at the possibility of him being released every time he's being pushed off.
And I know that he has brought certificates to show the court that he has.
No, I mean, I don't doubt that.
He has about maybe 7 certificates of level 0 outstanding, if I can, So it's not because it's not been level 1 outstanding, it's because the nature of the offense and guns are involved, and the court is not going to just take a chance on that.
Well, it's a combination of that, just as I've said before. Let me look at something. So, Mr. Adenishi, my guess is that you don't have enough information right now to determine whether or not you're going to be requesting a jury trial.
No, I already indicated that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Okay. So I'm told that the court would like to see this case actually set. And so Mary will be, she said within the next week, she'll be able to get a date set for this. So that's what I would like to see happen.
The date set for, we're already on the status docket. So what date is the judge talking about?
We're talking about just getting this case resolved.
And that the problem is with the state. They are still doing investigation. So whatever comes out of that investigation will actually determine the final position of the defense. Because they may come with the investigation and determine, okay, he had a little role to play or no role to play at all. And then they'll decide. So until we hear something from the state in terms of where they are, in terms of investigation, we can't proceed to the next stage in the process.
It can be set.
I was wondering if the judge will hear from the probation officer about what their recommendation is.
Sure, Ms. Guerrero, go ahead.
Give me 1 second, please.
And Judge, there is a companion case in this case. But,
yes.
But the difference really is my client has very good record. So I just want to point out to the court. So it's not going to be the same treatment.
No, I know. I looked at, just to be clear, I look at them all of them individually. Okay.
Okay.
Even though sometimes I might have the same reasons for detaining them,
I know.
they're looked at individually.
Yeah, I just want to draw that because I know you have so many cases over the period we have been here. So I just want to draw the attention to that difference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Judge, we did complete a psychological was completed, and it's recommending family therapy, substance abuse, also a will structure supervision environment. So those are part of the conditions that will be placed or requested on the social history.
I can see that because he doesn't have a serious offense history.
Actually, he has no adjudications at all.
No, he doesn't. Just supervisory caution on the authorized use of a vehicle. Maybe just to warm up to this one. I don't know.
In my world, that's like no record, Judge.
I know. I know. You know. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Edgenegi and Mr. Petty. Every time I look at this now, after the first time, maybe with the last couple of times, my biggest concern for him right now is I mean, yes, it's very serious that somebody was shot.
And just to be sure, Judge, every single judge that has had detention here have been of the same position you have just expressed. So it's not something that we are hearing from only you.
I know.
Oh.
But I want him to understand that for me, because I'm the one that makes it, I mean, I want to justify my decision, okay?
That is correct.
Not falling back on what the other judges do.
No, I just want to say that every judge has all these concerns, and so the decisions has always been consistent all through.
I mean, the facts are what they are, or the allegations are what they are. I can't change those.
Exactly.
I am truly, Mr. Petty, concerned for your safety just because of the allegations that you are a member of this street gang and that's been named. And so even if I were comfortable releasing you, which I'm not sure that I am anyways, I'm concerned for your safety with these allegations out there if this is any sort of gang related activity. Okay. And so I'm sorry, part of the reason I'm detaining you is for your safety alone until we find out more about this. And I don't know if it's the pandemic or what's going on with the, okay, he's checked out, whatever. But if that slowed down the investigation or not, but you know, hopefully some more stuff comes to light and gives me something more to consider, but I'm gonna detain him again for now.
And Judge, I do understand the situation with the court, so I am by no means saying that I don't understand, and I appreciate the fact that we have always been given the opportunity to say all we can. So I'm not, what I was going to say, I hear the court, I appreciate the judge's consideration, and I believe every single judge is struggling with the decision whether to release or not. So I understand that clearly.
I don't want to keep anyone here for that long, but you know, I have things to consider, and that's that. So, and I do look at it every time, Mr. Adeniji, because one, he's got a right for me to look at it every time, and there may be something else there in the report, something that's been updated or something else for me to consider. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Poe is next. Mr. Gladstone is here. And Ms. Rojas is here. Your Honor. Oh, I remember that, yeah. Okay. If we ever able to get that far. All right, Mr. Poe, I'm Judge Terry. This is your 10-day detention hearing. Remember that you have a right to a detention hearing every 10 business days to determine whether you will be released to a parent or guardian, or you will be remain with us here in detention. You have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of hearing. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Mr. Gladstone, and he's here on the screen. Do you see him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have a right to have your hearing recorded, and should you choose that, Mr. Gladstone will let me know that, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so.
Yeah, he can see me. Hey, man.
Hey.
And so Mom is here on the line.
How you doing?
Good.
Mm-hmm. 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 This is attorney there.
Okay, so what's he set for on April 30th, Mary? Okay, so this one is just set for a so. Okay, so Mr. Gladstone, it's my understanding the first or the next setting is scheduled for, oh wait, it was April 30th. Okay, so it has not been set again yet. Okay.
Judge, this may not be a jury trial.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gladstone?
I was just going to say, this may not be a jury trial. I've been in a lot of contact with the ADA Smith. We've been talking about it, whatever. Initially, when Ivan came in, the evidence showed that he had the gun, may have been a shooter. All the evidence is indicating, and I don't want to get beyond my skis, but our conversations with Andy and I, that he didn't have the gun, he wasn't a shooter. Lowering a probation on this, the facts have just totally changed, and I'm hoping it'll be a plea at some point.
Okay.
So basically, and he's also a cooperating witness.
You said he is.
And it appears to be a gang shooting, but the situation was that some girls confronted some guys. His car full of guys went over to confront the girls. There was a guy there, and one of the juveniles in the car got into a confrontation with the guy, and that's when the shooting took place. So there's a serious issue as to whether this was even a situation with parties. So that's kind of where we are. But I've had a conversation as of yesterday and this morning, or emails with Andy.
Okay, thank
So
you,
it looks
Mr.
like
Gladstone.
the case is, a little bit, okay. So
Yeah, and so his offense report looks slightly different than his companion in that there's more highlighted on the play sister thing and all that. So it might have been about something else.
Well, initially they had my client as a shooter, and that's been kind of, again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. This has been kind of ruled out.
Okay. But what I have on the offense report shows he's one of the, allegedly one of the shooters. And that's why I said, if things are updated as we go along here, it gives me more to consider. I'm looking for anything.
And we have that you're not saying. Oh,
I'm sorry, Mr. Gladstone, I didn't hear you. I think we're having a connectivity issue with you.
yeah, that's what the initial report said, but there's a lot of discovery, and there's been an interview to read.
I think the computer messing up.
Okay, Mr. Gladstone.
Huh?
Mr. Gladstone, can you hear me?
I am. For some reason, we lost connection, but I can now. Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know. Are you on your phone or on a computer?
I'm on a phone.
Okay, maybe move it a little bit closer to you, and that might help as far as the voice. Okay, so I just missed about the last couple sentences of what you said.
I think I'm just kind of repeating myself that the evidence is showing that he wasn't the shooter. They've interviewed an adult companion downtown, and that companion said that one of the other boys was a shooter and that had a confrontation with a third party. So there is a client didn't have the gun, wasn't a shooter, and now it's just a question of whether he was in a party or not, and that's the argument I'm having with the ADA.
Okay.
But it does look like it's going to end up being a plea. We initially said for a jury trial, but it looks like it's going to be a plea.
Okay.
And we're exploring the possibility of a probation.
Okay. Yeah, this is one nasty one. I would like to see it sort out in the interest of justice for everybody. Ms. Rojas?
Yes.
Any input from you?
No, Your Honor. I do want to indicate that we did receive a new out of custody referral for criminal trespass, and that offense date is from the 18th of January. Basically, he was at Parks Mall after he was given a criminal trespass warning in August. And so we just received that on the 7th of May, and that's been sent over to the district attorney's office. I've been trying to improve his behavior in the detention center. He has made it to level 1 outstanding today. From the last detention hearing, he had just one level 3 issue, and then he's been trying to improve since that day.
I know his behavior at the detention hearings has not been stellar.
Yes.
Mr. Poole, I do want to encourage you to maintain the level of behavior that you have right now. It says as of yesterday to me that you are on level 1 outstanding. You know, if you weren't the shooter, I can understand your frustration. But here's my concerns with this. My concerns if they were to release you, that you are likely to abscond based on your multiple directive to apprehend previously. And previously, recently, within the last year alone. That is a big concern for the court, especially given the charges that you're facing. And again, I have the concern for you too. I don't know if it was gang activity or not, but based on the allegations, I am truly concerned, not just, even if I didn't have to consider the safety of the public, Mr. Poe, I'm concerned about your safety. If it's true that you are involved in the street gang, and if it was related to that whatsoever. I don't know that it was or wasn't right now, but putting you out there in that kind of an environment where it could subject you to retaliation of any sort from a gang, I'm not comfortable putting you in that kind of danger. And so I am going to keep you detained for that reason, and for also your behavior level. You just need to be, even when your case comes to whatever the deal is at the end, you need to keep your behavioral level in the detention facility up, not just for purposes of whether you get to go home, be detained or not for detention hearings, but just for your overall outcome. So I'm gonna encourage you to keep to, now that you're on level 1 outstanding, to stay there, okay? But for now, I'm ordering you detained.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll be in touch with you, Ms.
Okay.
Lemon.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Richard.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Judge.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
He did behave that time. That's really good.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think he might be learning it from mom. Mr. Lewis, I'm trying to unmute you.
I think I'm unmuted.
Yes, you are now.
Okay.
All right. Do we have Mr. Reynolds? And Mr. Berger, this is yours.
Correct, Judge.
All right. And you requested this one as well.
Yes, I did.
Okay, Mr. Reynolds, I'm Judge Terry, and I'm an associate judge here in the 323rd. You have a right to a detention hearing every 10 business days after your initial detention hearing, the purpose of which is to determine whether we keep you here in detention for a little while longer or if we can release you to a parent or guardian. However, your attorney has requested this outside of that normal 10 business day rotation. And I just wanted to advise you that you have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding here. I can only consider it for purposes of detention. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you have a right to an attorney. And in fact, Mr. Berger is here on the screen with you. Do you see him?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you have the right to have this hearing recorded, and Mr. Berger will let me know if I need to do that. So you were brought in on the 28th for the alleged offenses: aggravated robbery, 2 counts of aggravated robbery. It says on April 13th, Fort Worth PD responded to a robbery call, meeting the 2 victims at Pet Boys on McCart. Victims advised they'd just been robbed and had to run to that location to call the police. They said they contacted a party through the app Let Go to purchase an iPhone X and walked to a house on Green Ridge to meet the seller. They noted the seller changed the location several times during their online interactions. Upon arrival, they met Dakoita, which is you, found your demeanor to be suspicious, stating that you didn't have a phone on you, you needed to get it from your friend, and decided to walk away from the location. They decided to walk away from the location. Says that you allegedly followed them on foot, weaving behind parked cars to try to remove what they believed to be a gun from your pocket. Says that you eventually did free the handgun and allegedly cocked it and pointed it at the male victim, and the female started to run. Says that the female stopped and threw 200 cash at you to save her boyfriend, at which point they both took off running, reportedly being pursued on foot by you. Female dropped her backpack during the pursuit. Upon reaching the auto shop, the Pep Boys, they called the police. Between April 14th, 15th, detectives contacted Let Go law enforcement liaisons and secured the email address, name, and home address of the person who created the account, which lured the victims, using an alias August Jones, therefore identifying you as a suspect. Your school photo was shown to both victims in a photo lineup, and both allegedly identified you as the person who robbed them at gunpoint. And the police prepared and executed a warrant. Let's see. No history with the department, Mr. Berger, is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
So he's been level 1 outstanding since the 9th, so 3 days ago. So why did you request today's hearing, Mr. Berger?
Judge, I have some notes from the last hearing. I believe it was Judge Porter.
Okay.
The very last thing he said before the conclusion of the hearing was that if Dakota reached level 1 outstanding, then the court would reconsider his release. So that's what I have. And with his lack of history, I felt that it would be appropriate to ask for that release at this time. I'm not sure if he has a guardian present though.
I don't see anyone in the parent room. Is there a parent or guardian on the line for him?
Not that I'm aware of, ma'am.
It was his grandmother last time, Judge.
The names here in our meeting still appear all to be from JPD. Yeah, let me take a look at Judge Porter's notes, Mr. Berger.
Okay.
Okay, that is not exactly what I have. Well, first of all, we don't have a parent or guardian to meet him here anyway, but I will say this. His regularly scheduled detention hearing would be when?
Tomorrow.
Oh, I believe.
Oh,
It's 1 day early, Judge.
okay.
And I'll mention, Your Honor, that I've discussed the 10-day with grandmother as recently as last week. I know she's aware of that date. I don't know if she's been made aware of the attorney requested today.
Okay. I need to be able to talk with grandma, you know, before I'd be comfortable with release. I don't see that Judge Porter's guaranteed an automatic release if you reach level 1.0, Mr. Reynolds, but definitely we would always consider it. But I think grandma is definitely part of that equation, okay? And so, because I know you don't have a history with us, but you are 16 years old. You're coming up in about a year. If you continue to do stuff like this, you won't be here, you'll be downtown, okay? And so this is something that needs to be nipped. And we need to know that, you know, grandma's able to help do that and get you whatever help it is you need to get back on the right path, okay? Go ahead, Mr. Reynolds.
I don't think that she knows about this court date.
Maybe, maybe not. Maybe she plans on coming tomorrow, you know, but I can't release you if I don't have anyone to release you to. I can't really consider it right now because I really would need to talk to her first, okay?
Can I call her?
Well, I think they've already tried to do that. And I mean, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave you on the detention docket for tomorrow. I don't like to just kind of pass the buck because if she was here, I'd have something more to consider, but she's not, so I don't. So I'm hoping that she comes tomorrow and the judge you see tomorrow will be able to consider your release to her after talking with her, okay? So I'm just going to encourage you not to get any points off, stay on level 1 outstanding, okay? And we'll have to revisit this tomorrow when grandma's present.
And I will call grandmother this afternoon and make sure that she is coming tomorrow morning.
Yes, or she can even be on the Zoom and we can, you know, something can be worked out then. I'm not guaranteeing a release, Mr. Reynolds, because I can't do that. I know whatever judge you see tomorrow, they're going to want to talk to grandma. Okay. And I believe it'll be Judge Porter. So that's good because he'll remember you from the last time he saw you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have to deny the release today and keep you detained. And then we'll see what happens tomorrow with grandma. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Berger.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Berger, I think the next two are yours also. We've got Jamal Wright next.
Yep.
Do I need to find out attention or anything? Because you want to only define anything for today for that one? Okay. Yeah, it's over here. Yeah. I'm worried that one might be in training. You know, name that one. Okay, Ms. Cruz is on. All right. All right, Mr. Wright, I'm Judge Terry. This is your detention hearing. You've been brought in here. You were brought in yesterday, and so you have a right to a detention hearing within 2 business days, and the purpose of which is to determine whether I should release you to a parent or guardian, or if I should keep you detained here at Kimbo. You have the right to remain silent. However, should you choose to speak at your detention hearing, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of hearing here. It can only be considered for detention purposes. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also have the right to an attorney. And if you and your family cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. We have Mr. Berger here on the screen for you as your attorney today. Do you see him there? He's got a blue button-up shirt on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you have a right to have your hearing recorded. And if you want that, Mr. Berger will let me know. You were brought in because they're saying that you were referred into custody by the Fort Worth PD on a directive to apprehend issued by this court. It says that you were referred into custody for an offensive runaway. Police were called out to a disturbance at Heights Lane in Fort Worth. Officer approached the front door where 2 black males matching the description given exited. They later identified as you, Mr. Wright, and you were detained. While the suspects are being detained, the employee of the store walked out of the store and handed police a black Taurus Millennium G2 firearm that he located inside of the store after a customer advised him that suspect number 1 threw something on the aisle. After taking custody of the firearm, it was run through, taken, did not come back as stolen. It was transported to the city of Fort Worth and tagged and released to the, let's see. So then May 11th at 17:56 hours, officers were dispatched to Heights Lane in reference to a disturbance. Says that the complainant stated that 2 subjects climbed onto her balcony and took items. She described the subjects as 2 black juveniles, one wearing blue shorts, shirtless, and the other wearing a white shirt. While en route, one of the officers was approached by a citizen in the storefront. Located on Woodhaven. The citizen informed the officer that 2 individuals shirtless with blue shorts were seen jumping onto several balconies in the apartment complex located on Heights Lane. Citizen advised that the juveniles matched the description from the juveniles that were evading police prior to exiting the stolen vehicle. Excuse me. The citizen advised the juveniles match description from the juveniles that were evading police prior to exiting the stolen vehicle the Pantego Police Department was pursuing. Citizen further informed that the two juveniles were last seen walking southbound on Country Club Lane. There more notified officers of the information. It was believed the two juveniles were related to the other incident. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with the way this is written. Upon Officer Moore relaying the information, another sergeant responded to the area and observed two juveniles matching the description entering the gas station located at Country Club Lane. Officers responded to the area and met with the sergeant outside of the business. When the two juveniles exited the store, officers detained them in handcuffs. So this all occurred when there was a directive to apprehend already issued.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're on probation with us.
Judge, can I ask what he's on probation for? I have no documentation or offense.
That's what I'm looking for. It looks like assault family member in the household impeding breath, and that was offense date of November 14th, 2019, and probation was on February 12th of this year.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, he was in FPP reach on 4/13/2020 and ran away on the 18th. We were able to engage with them for a few days, but it was limited. It was difficult to make contact with the family, they're saying, and then he was seen by the doctor. He was previously seen by the doctor in January and prescribed medication. It's reported that he does not like to take the medication, but an appointment was scheduled for April 27th at 11 a.m. They were going to ask for him to be released on an EM, but after the reports of his various offenses were received, they requested he be detained today until another plan of action is in place. Is he on his medication?
No, ma'am.
No.
Go ahead. Let mom answer.
Go ahead, Mom.
We had a appointment set for, it was just set for April the summer. He went there. So the next appointment is set for May. I think it's next week. It's like May the 15th or 16th, because I got it in my phone and the lady told me he had to be there. But yes, the only way he could come home to me would be a leg monitor, because he had one before. He did right. And I understand, like, I don't know if you know, I just buried my 17-year-old March the 14th. I just buried my oldest son. And like, I'd speak with Miss Dana and I speak with Miss Cruz. Even when he left, I contact both of them. But when he leave, his problem is this. He'll try to call, like he'll call his dad or call my mom to let us know he okay, but that's not the fact. I don't, you know, like I say, probably none of y'all been in my shoes before, and I try to tell Jamal, that's something that we all, you know, I just got us signed up for the warm place that was going to start on June the 1st for us, even though I'm with FPP, it's just for me and my other kids, so we can all try to, you know, get some type of grievance counseling going for us, because I haven't really had the chance, because I just like literally buried them in March.
I'm so sorry to hear that, ma'am, that no mom should ever have to do that, you know. And I hope, I mean, Mr. Wright, I'm sure that you're dealing with your own stuff with that. But if this is what you're doing out there, your chances of your mom having to go through that again are going up. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, Ms. Cruz, what are your thoughts?
Yes, ma'am. Did you say something?
Yes, go ahead. I'm asking you what your thoughts are.
Oh, I'm just concerned because we just had him for that week, and then we were
we talked to him about not, you know, the importance of him staying at home because of the grief, you know, the grieving that they needed to do and all that. And then mom called us to let us know that he left Saturday night. He snuck out a window or something. So we're just concerned that, you know, he's not making good decisions. And
yeah, he snuck out the
that may
windows.
continue.
I had to get my lawn people to come back out and put sensors on my windows. Now I had them on everything else. I really thought they was on my windows, but that 360 had to come back out and put them on my windows now. So if anything, even my window go up, anything, it just alerts in there. I went in, I took her out of it, not only because of Jamal, I have a 9-year-old, I just have, you know, I have a smaller child as well. And I just really don't even like my windows up in the house, like I say, because I still fear because they haven't caught my son killers yet, you know, and I try to tell Jamal that we are still targets because his killers haven't been caught. So I try to keep all of us together in the house. And he was doing so good when his first probate, Miss Malley would tell you, even when he was on a monitor and he got took out before he got with LPP, Miss Malley had us check in 3 times a week. And I know Jamal grieved, like I even told Miss Dane and Miss Cruz, he had some good days where I'm talking about he do everything. And then like I tell Jamal, instead of you coming to tell someone that you grieve, I understand that we all deal with it different. He try to take it upon himself. And I guess he feel like I'm with my friends, or, you know, if I go this way, he not at home. I guess he feel like he expressed himself more, but I try to tell him that I'm not strict. I'm just trying to keep all of us safe because I dealt with one child and I just can't take another child. But when he was on a monitor, I never had a problem with it, never. And the only reason he got took off the monitor is because there was the time I was making arrangements and it was, you know, I would have to call Miss Smalley for like to go get, you know, look for our outfits to go to the funeral home. So Porter just said, you know, by me dealing with a lot, he would just have it cut off so we could take care of stuff and I wouldn't have to, you know, keep checking in every hour asking for a pass. But that's the only way Jamal would do right. I'm not gonna lie, you know, for him to get the help he need as FPP. I met with them when we met the doctors. Only way I think is he come home would be a monitor where he would be able to sit and start his medicine. That's the only way I would allow him in my house.
Well, we can grant one thing, Mom, as I know that he does need his medication. And so, you know, he's on probation for an offense where his younger brother was the victim.
Yeah,
and then your family's, ma'am, hold on. Your family's going through all of this, and his way of coping is going out there, doing this kind of stuff, putting himself in more danger, putting the public in danger. And so I just don't, I'm not comfortable putting him on a monitor yet. Unfortunately, I feel bad keeping him here just because I feel like you do probably need your children around you right now. But I have to be concerned for the safety of the public as well and for his safety. I can't trust that he would stay on a monitor right now because he's been, especially the very fact he just got put on probation and he's doing this, you know. I understand he may have done well on a monitor before, but right now I'm not comfortable with that. I do want to see him get the help, so he's going to have to get a doctor. He's going to have to get a doctor in here and get his medication prescribed to him and see how he does on that. Mr. Wright, you're going to need to be on level 1 outstanding behavior here. And then if you do reach that, we'll consider releasing you to Mom the next time. Okay, but for now I'm detaining you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, if whoever's in the back there, do not bring in the next juvenile yet. Do not bring in the next child. Do not bring her in yet because pursuant to the Texas Family Code, Chapter 54, we are now going to close this hearing for the privacy of a child under 14 years of age, and it will take about 20 seconds for the stream to stop. So I'm going to go ahead and count that down. I'm going to stop the YouTube feed now, and then we're going to wait about 20 seconds before we bring the child in.